The 10th annual Third Eye Festival kicked off at the Roxy Theatre earlier this week with John Schenk's soul-stirring documentary, The Island President.
I first read about Nasheed in late 2008 when he won the presidency of the Maldives, and it was just this incredible moment in the Maldivian history because it was the first democratic election in a country that had really been a dictatorship for the last 30 years. And he immediately, when he stepped into office, he immediately started saying these incredibly provocative, very honest things about the environment. Because
we continue to shout even though we know that you're not really listening.
Because the Maldives is, as I now know, one of the most vulnerable countries in the world to climate change. The islands sit, a meter above sea level.
Schenk follows President Mohammed Nasheed as the rising sea levels in Maldives threaten the existence of his country. A decade of celebrating South Asian cinema, this year's festival brings over 20 films from 9 countries, including some homegrown shorts, featuring talented young artists such as Shane Singh Gill, with his incredibly witty and beautifully shot Biz Kulfi. Festival director Ivan Jagidar says it's a coming of age for Third Eye.
I think it's gone through many different transitions and different periods of growth. And I think actually this 10th year is a different kind of platform that we're sort of looking at the past and preparing for the future. So I think we're in a good place, actually.
In light of the recent shootings in Oak Creek, Third Eye's focus this year has been the Sikh identity.
With a lot of issues around South Asia and South Asians and how we're constructed in the media, and we'd like to develop a more well-rounded, layered perspective of South Asians. And given that there's, hate crimes going on in terms of what happened recently, we wanted to give people an alternative perspectives of what Sikhs are. And also, Muslims and, the variety of South Asians that there are, in terms of religion, culture, language. But we thought we'd focus on Sikhs.
So the film that I directed is called Roots of Love. It looks at the changing ideas about hair and turban amongst Sikh men in India. And I sort of explore the intergenerational conflict between the younger generation who wants to cut their hair and give up the turban, and the older generation and parents who want to retain that symbol of their identity. This has been a wonderful experience being here at the Third Eye International South Asian Film Festival.
This year, Third Eye unveiled a new initiative, a pop-up production showcasing Bay Area's filmmakers currently in production. Shireen Pasha's You of Many Days is about a young woman's journey for redemption.
She's born in a small village in Bengal. The war breaks out between East and West Pakistan in 1971, and she has these old maps of Bombay. So she runs away to Bombay to restart her life. She ends up working in a Jewish Indian bakery, and over time she becomes a famous Indian writer, loved by all. But nobody knows who she is until she reveals her story over the radio.
Wow. So did you write the film, or how did the film come about? Where did the idea come from?
I've been working on it for the last 11 to 12 years of my life. I think because I was born into a family with deep South Asian roots. Like all of us, we have deep, complex South Asian roots. And I've always felt that we're not just Bangladeshi or Pakistani or Indian, but we're people of the rivers of our land, right? So it's something that deeply resonated with me, and it came out in this manner of a script.
The harsh legacy of colonial Fiji, tropical memories, and dark family secrets collide in Fiji time. A story of an 86-year-old woman's emotional return to her island.
Didn't exist anymore.
Director Alexandra Lacey says the subtext of Indo-Fiji population is a big part of Fiji's history.
It is a personal story about my mother's history in Fiji. She was born in Fiji to third-generation colonial family, but it's also a larger story about the history of Fiji and colonialism, and kind of what often we don't think about what colonialism has left behind and kind of the rifts and bringing a lot of different people together, maybe not always under the best circumstances, and then leaving. So there's 3 communities in Fiji: the Indo-Fijian community, the native Fijian community, and then the European community, which is pretty small now. But so it's kind of about just the legacy of colonialism in that country, but also through a personal lens. And I'm interviewing people from all of those communities. Hopefully I'm going to get personal stories that will shed light on the political story as well. So it's bringing the personal and the political together.
The reception at Castro Theater in San Francisco came alive on Saturday, with filmmakers in person along with enthusiasts and sponsors. The headliner for the night? Gotham Chopra's Decoding Deepak.
I used to work with former Vice President Al Gore at the time that he did An Inconvenient Truth, and I was always sort of curious about that film, whereas, it captured something that he was really passionate about, but that the world didn't know about. And so there was like this fracture between who he really was and who the world thought he was. So that always occurred to me as an idea I wanted to do with my father. And, one day I literally just picked up a camera and started documenting it, and as I started watching it, I realized there was a much bigger project, and so it started about 2 years ago in total. Yeah. I spent a year on
the bare naked honesty of this documentary uncovers the mystical Chopra,
trying to make sense of all the scattered pieces of who he seems to be.
From Lady Gaga.
My name is Lady Gaga, and the most influential person in my life is Deepak Chopra.
To the lost souls in Sedona.
In the movie itself, there's a portion where we're in Sedona, and it's at one of his big seminars, and I think I realized then that, this was a movie that wasn't just sort of about my point of view of him, that it was about something bigger, and I had to sort of become this more objective journalist and stop being sort of the snide, kid.
Imtiaz Ali knows how to serve up a masala love triangle in a perfect cocktail. And one that brings Saif Ali Khan, Deepika Padukone with a twist of Diana Penty is all you could ask for. To catch more of Diya TV Spotlight, log on to youtube.com/DiyaTVUSA. And if you have an event that needs to be covered, send us an email at spotlight@DiyaTVInc.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Diya TV.